DL Hughley just went in on 50 Cent after 50 posted on Instagram about leaving NYC because of Zohran Mamdani's win. DL said he's tired of wealthy celebrities like 50 acting like a small tax increase is some huge burden, while ignoring the issues regular people face every day. According to DL, Mamdani is trying to push policies to make New York more affordable, but 50 is acting like a 2% tax is enough to destroy the whole city.
We raise $10 billion to pay for our entire economic agenda and start to Trump-proof our city, because we know he'll use federal funding as leverage over this city. And we will do so in two key ways. The first is to match the state's top corporate tax rate to that of New Jersey. We are at 7.25%. They're at 11.5%. Corporations can pay it over there. They can pay it over here. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't just apply to corporations headquartered in New York City. Because when you say this, people will say, well, they're going to go to Florida. Mm-hmm. Wherever you are headquartered, as long as you do business in the state of New York, you are taxable for that corporate tax. We're talking about corporations that are making millions of dollars, not in revenue, but in profit. And the second is taxing the top 1% of New Yorkers. We're talking about people who make $1 million a year or more, taxing them just by a flat 2% tax increase. And I know if 50 Cent is listening, he's not going to be happy about this. Mm-hmm. He tends to not like this tax policy, but I want to be very clear. This is about $20,000 a year. It's a rounding error. And all of these things together, they make every New Yorker's life better, including those who are actually getting taxed.
Mamdani's whole campaign focused on making NYC more affordable by raising taxes on the rich. And nobody complains about taxes more than 50 Cent. He left New York years ago over costs, yet now refuses to support anything that would help the city he grew up in. Billionaires get massive tax breaks, but the moment someone fights for the middle class, they're called extreme. After hearing about the 2% tax proposal, 50 jumped on Instagram saying, "Where did he come from? Whose friend is this? I'm not feeling this plan. I'll give him $258,750 and a first-class one-way ticket out of New York."
You have spoken about these financial plans you have, and you made a point on New York radio, which a lot of people listen to address 50 Cent. And you know he's a critic.
He's a critic
of high taxes.
But let me tell you.
Go ahead, and then we'll play it. Go ahead.
I didn't even know what my salary would be until I opened up Instagram and I saw this thing, which was like 50 Cent offers Mamdani X amount of money.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a very specific amount of money. And I was like, oh my God, that's.
So now we'll do this in reverse order.
Sorry.
He said, I'll give you $258,000 and a first-class one-way ticket out of New York. That's what you're referencing.
And in case you're wondering, $258,750 is the mayor's annual salary. So 50 was basically trying to buy Mamdani out just to avoid paying a small tax. Zohran responded in an interview and had this to say.
To him now, where, by the way, he has moved out of the city, but he's a classic New Yorker. I'm sure you like some of his songs.
Oh, man. It's actually tough for me in that way.
So where does this debate go?
Incredible songs.
Because his argument, and it's fun, but it's also what we hear from certain people. His argument is, there are a lot of people in New York who make a lot of money because they contribute a lot, and you're going after them. What do you say to him tonight?
You know, what I would say to you, 50, if you are indeed watching, or anyone else who's watching this show, is I continue to think that having the top 1% of New York City, who are making more than $1 million a year, having them pay 2% more for an economic agenda that would transform every New Yorker's life, including their own, is something that is worthwhile. And the reason I say including their own is when you see a city like ours that is underfunding its city agencies, that is pulling back on the most basic things like library services and trash cans, everybody feels the knock-on effects of that. And my job as someone who believes deeply in the public sector is to ensure that we're delivering public excellence. And that means every dollar that we raise, I want to be able to prove to you that it's every dollar that's being well spent. That's the relationship there. And I do have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to Many Men.
50 reacted to the interview in another IG post, saying he thinks Zohran's intentions are good, but that the tax plan will drive wealthy people out NYC, and cutting police budgets would lead to chaos. After Mamdani won, 50 even posted a tombstone graphic reading, RIP NYC 2025. Meanwhile, Zohran kept things positive, saying he loved 50 Cent, and even named one of 50's songs as one of his all-time favorites.
If you had to choose, which 3 pop songs best emulate your campaign?
Okay. Hate it or love it. Gotta put that one in there. Right above it as well. Shout outs Taylor Swift, Only the Young.
That's an excellent lineup.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zohran.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure.
Fans went after 50 hard, saying he was overreacting just to avoid paying a little extra tax. Many accused him of turning his back on the community he came from. One person commented, 50 is losing all credibility by crying about this, while another said he profits off his own community struggles. And of course, DL Hughley had plenty to say about it too.
Here's what's interesting to me. So Mamdani is going to be the new mayor of New York, 34-year-old kid. Like I said, I live in New York. I couldn't vote in that election, but if I could, it would have been an easy choice. But here's what I really don't understand. The man who is actively trying to use hunger to get his political way, saying that people won't have food unless they do his political bidding, is saying that the man who wants to make rent cheaper, public transportation cheaper, and food cheaper is the one who is ruining in America. So the man who wants to starve you to get what he wants thinks that the dude who wants to feed you, house you, and get you, make you able to get around cheaper is the horrible one. That tells you everything you need to know about where we are.
DL, a big supporter of Mamdani, said it's refreshing to see people voting for someone they genuinely believe in instead of picking the lesser of two evils. He even congratulated Mamdani on his win, saying New York finally has someone who truly cares about the city and wants to make it better.
Congratulations to Zohran Mamdani. I think that it is very interesting to me what the people who are opposed to him were trying to say, that he's a socialist, that he would ruin the city, and that we have had people that have been actual racists that were elected officials, or raped that were elected officials, or pedophiles that have been elected officials, or frauds that have been elected officials. But all of a sudden, a man could ruin the city because of the book he reads from and the God he worships. I'm glad that New York has made a decision to go with the person who they thought would invest in them. I'm glad that they made a decision to try something new. We already know what the old looks like. We already know. And I actually, I like Cuomo. I love Chris Cuomo. We're very good friends. But I'm very happy that New York is taking a chance on someone who just says they want to do the best for the people they serve. Because I think that now, in our experience with elected officials, they mostly try to serve themselves. Now, I don't know if he'll be successful or not. But I do know this. I know that people are excited, and I know it's nice to have somebody excited without without the fear of something bad, but the hope that something good might happen. So, and I think generally, the harder the name is to pronounce, the better they're going to do.
Millionaires and billionaires were furious over Mamdani's win. They threw tens of millions into trying to stop him, but it didn't matter. You can't buy trust. People believed in Mamdani, and that's why he won.
The billionaire bucks that were flowing into the anti-Mamdani campaign, he won pretty handily against Andrew Cuomo, which 5 minutes ago, the Republican Party was telling us he was unbelievably corrupt, that he should be in prison. And all of a sudden, it was our duty to get the word out, to get people to vote for Cuomo somehow again. Bill Ackman almost personally ran against Mamdani, right? Bill gave $1.75 million. Michael Bloomberg also gave money to a Cuomo-affiliated super PAC. He gave $8.3 million to stop Mamdani, and it didn't matter. The Airbnb co-founder, Joseph Gebbia, gave $3.1 million. It didn't matter. The Tisch family gave $1.2 million. It didn't matter. Still, Mamdani won. Why? Okay, if we're being honest, he probably won during the first mayoral debate.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th trip to Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies.
My first trip to Israel, my wife's life work in this area means a lot to our family, and it could coincide with my young son Miles' bar mitzvah.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not as a Jewish state?
As a state with equal rights.
Whoopi Goldberg was another millionaire who didn't support Mayor-elect Mamdani. After his win, Whoopi reacted publicly.
Again, everybody's term.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for. And hopefully they won't have won and then become people who are not listening anymore. This is where we come in. We must remind everybody who won what their job is supposed to be and why you voted for them. And when it's not happening, it is our right as New Yorkers, as Americans, to say what is happening. I gave you my vote.
Celebrities, including Mark Ruffalo and Lupita Nyong'o, who had publicly supported Mamdani's campaign, celebrated his win on social media, as Rachel Ziegler, Lauren Horegi, Chelsea Handler, Spike Lee, Emily Ratajkowski, and more also shared their excitement.
This isn't the first time 50 has tried to dodge higher taxes. During the Biden years, he claimed he'd be taxed at 62%, even though most of his income comes from investments, meaning he pays far less and often uses his shares as collateral instead of taking taxable income. Taxes were the main reason he moved to Texas in the first place.
Headlines tell the story. It says 50 Cent bashes Biden tax plan, endorses Trump, and on down the line. We all know what's happened since then. But give it to us straight here on the news. Were you endorsing Donald Trump? What were you getting at then?
His tax plan, I didn't realize I would be paying 62% of my income back to the IRS. So that does change a lot. New York City will change dramatically. Like, they're going to end up moving to different territories. You look at all the Silicon Valley is now in Austin, Texas. So you'll start to see people moving from these places to new places that make sense for them to hold on to just what they're earning, not to, to have it just taken from them by the government.
I got one more question on this before we get to BMF, which is fast forward to nowadays, and Joe Biden is president, and he is talking about raising certain taxes. Take a listen.
Pay your fair share, just like middle-class folks do. Trickle-down economics has never worked, and it's time to grow the economy from the bottom and the middle out.
That's the argument. That's the substance of why he says it's necessary. What's your response to that today, now that he's president?
No. When you just tell an individual that you're going to not keep 62% of your earnings because you live in this area, I don't like New York City that much. I don't like the people enough to stay. I'm moving, all right? I'm going to Texas. I got my cowboy hat, everything. And you look, everything's bigger in Texas. It's really beautiful people. It's nice people.
5-0 is just one of many wealthy elites trying to block Mamdani. Elon Musk endorsed Andrew Cuomo, who faced dozens of assault charges but gave billion-dollar tax breaks to the rich. These elites care more about avoiding taxes than the country. Musk calls Mamdani a scammer, but can't explain why when asked.
One of the things that I looked at the other day was mainstream media coverage of you, Trump, a bunch of different public figures, and then
it's like
Mamdani.
96% negative or something crazy.
Yeah. And then Mamdani, which is like 95% positive.
Right. I mean, Mamdani is a charismatic swindler. I mean, you got to hand it to him. Like he can light up a stage, but he has just been a swindler his entire life.
Say Mamdani's a swindler. I know he has a bunch of fake accents that he used to use.
Yeah,
and but what else has he done that makes him a swindler?
Well, I guess if you say if you say to any audience whatever that audience wants to hear. Instead of having a consistent message, I would say that is a swindly thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. But he is charismatic.
Mamdani, on the other hand, gave the perfect explanation for why billionaires should pay more in taxes, especially considering Elon only pays about 3%.
Democratic socialism has been just the center of everything that people talk about. But in this country, there's a big debate about the wealthy, the uber wealthy, the gap between the rich and the poor. Just this week, Tesla offered a pay package to Elon Musk that would potentially make him a trillionaire. Do you think trillionaires should exist?
I think the better question is whether working people should exist, because what we're seeing right now is amidst this incredible wealth, we have people who are keeping the city running that have to now live outside of the city, outside of the state. There are New Yorkers who are living in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Connecticut because they just can't afford to live here. Amidst all of that, we have talk of trillionaires. I mean, it tells you where our political priorities are. And that's what is so frustrating, is that when we talk about the cuts to SNAP benefits here in New York City, the throwing of millions off of their health insurance, it's not just a incident that has taken place in Washington, D.C. It is a function of the largest wealth transfer we've ever seen in our history of our country.
New York is getting unaffordable for the people who built it, yet the elites offer no solutions, just criticism. Ben Shapiro even suggested, it's too expensive, maybe you should just leave.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunity.
DL summed up what everyone was thinking. These billionaires are embarrassing themselves. When Mamdani announced he'd hire Lina Khan, the former FTC head, who cracked down on tech giants selling user data, elites panicked. They knew the era of unchecked power, monopolies, and backroom deals was ending.
Wealthy, who might be looking for a therapist after yesterday's election. And more importantly, were looking for therapy when they heard that Lina Khan was joining the transition team.
Which just goes to show you, looking back at the Biden administration, I mean, she had a very important job and we had her on all the time and hung on.
I think we should have her back and talk about what's happening in New York City. We will have her back, but let's just know. Okay, so as long as we know what, I mean, she is a sure. No, but that's what I'm saying.
She was running a very important department in the Biden administration.
Well, no, I wonder what it portends for business in New York. It was funny.
It's great for business. It's awesome.
A number of business leaders in New York reached out to me yesterday. I was traveling back from London, and it wasn't even the election result itself. It was when this Lina Khan announcement was made.
Right.
It was like they were sort of like frozen in place, and talked. I mean, some of the texting and back and forth was more about sort of what had happened to the merger business. I mean, obviously there's a lot of bankers in this city, financiers in this city, and sort of what the approach is. I don't know if she's going to have a role in the future.
What can she do, though? I mean,
the future group or not?
What my question was, this appears to nationalize a city mayoral staff, right? Instead of saying we're going to operate the city as good managers, which is what the mayor's job is, it somehow makes it seem like we're going to be a platform for some national ideological.
I don't know. I mean, I was also surprised by that there were so many people from the de Blasio administration.
Coming from the FTC, I'm going to be especially focused on things like, how do we make sure that we have a full accounting of all of the laws and authorities that the mayor can unilaterally deploy? I think one thing that was really shocking to me at the FTC was just how much dormant and unused and underused authorities had just been on the books. Like literally Congress had passed laws, sometimes saying things as uncontroversial as it should be illegal to say your products are made in America when they aren't. And sometimes they had just been ignored by the FTC and not really enforced. So, want to make sure that to the extent that the city has a robust set of laws that the mayor can enforce, that we're going and understanding what is the full authority.
50 Cent isn't just avoiding taxes in New York. He's investing $50 million in Shreveport and recently met with Mayor Tom Arzino and Governor Jeff Landry to explore tax benefits.
Now, during a recent trip to Baton Rouge, Shreveport Mayor Tom Arsenault and Shreveport's newest big investor, 50 Cent, met with Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry to discuss plans related to a legislative proposal and its potential impact on the film industry here in Shreveport. Now, here's what's in the question. Governor Landry called a special session on tax reform next month. And now many are wondering what that means for the film tax credit. Louisiana's Secretary of Revenue said the film credit would be one of more than 200 sales tax exemptions that may be phased out by next year.
Had a very productive discussion about what that might look like and what might happen if the proposals pass and how that might affect how we would go forward and what might be done as a substitute.
If you're tired of elites ignoring New Yorkers while Mamdani actually addresses their needs, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.